The luck of the vaccine lottery continues for many seniors as they learn whether they will be randomly selected to receive shots at community sites like this one in Brooklyn Center. That Brooklyn Center site is a strategic one for the Twin Cities since there's no community clinic yet in Minneapolis. On Thursday, Governor Walz and state health leaders paid a visit to the Brooklyn Center site. Delane Cleveland was there and joins us now with more.
Yeah, this is the second week that the Earl Brown Heritage Center in Brooklyn Center has hosted this COVID-19 vaccine clinic. Between Thursday and Saturday, they're expecting about 2,400 people aged 65 and older to come through.
Having the vaccines here in Brooklyn Center is such an important piece for our community, as well as for the whole North Hennepin area. We are an easy access point to the broader north. And so we think that this was a good choice for all of our collective communities.
Brooklyn Center Mayor Mike Elliott joined Governor Walz Thursday afternoon as he toured the site with other state health officials. Every senior coming through the Earl Brown Heritage Center for this vaccine clinic was one of the lucky winners of the lottery system set up by the state. More than 400,000 doses of vaccine have been administered so far in Minnesota. Of those doses, about 92,000 are seniors. But there are still people with underlying health conditions who aren't quite 65 years of age, and those people feel like they've been left out. When asked about this population and when they might be eligible for the vaccine, state health officials asked for people's patience.
We're trying to work through the data now to kind of identify which conditions are the most significant from a COVID comorbidity perspective, and working with our clinical community to figure out, okay, how do we kind of factor that in? And to give the clinicians the flexibility to do that.
And all of these questions are really good. They're the ones that keep me up at night. What about the 50-year-old that I just spoke to, a woman who's had a kidney removed and is on that list? How do we make sure we're hitting those modalities that are really important that we get to as quickly as possible?
Meanwhile, it's important to note that next week there will be no COVID-19 vaccines offered here in Brooklyn Center. They said that they're going to take a week off and then they'll reopen the following week, but the only people allowed back will be those who got their vaccination here last week. Reporting in Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A Golden Valley hospital that specializes in long-term acute care has plans to expand. Regency Hospital, located on the east side of Twin Lake, wants to expand from 66 beds to 92 beds. The expansion would add a 29,000 square foot building to the southeast side of the hospital. That includes 9,500 square feet of office space and almost 20,000 square feet for the 26 new patient suites. The proposal is getting some pushback, however. Residents in the Hidden Lakes neighborhood have expressed concerns about the traffic impact. After a 3.5-hour meeting and public hearing this week, the Planning Commission tabled a decision on whether to recommend approval. Meanwhile, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office announced a new initiative Thursday to tackle opioid addiction. The Sheriff's Office will soon offer an online opioid awareness class. It will cover the signs of addiction and treatment options. The class will be offered multiple times for free and is open to all. The first session will be February 9th. We'll have more details on how to sign up on our website, ccxmedia.org. Sheriff David Hutchison says the new classes aim to help combat the opioid epidemic, which he says has gotten worse during the pandemic. The city of New Hope is moving forward on plans to improve its public works facility. Plans call for moving all public works equipment inside and making improvements like a new parking lot, installing air conditioning, and beefing up security. The city is moving forward on a phased approach, and the city engineer will begin preparing plans for phase 1, which would cost $1.6 million. The city has been setting aside money for those improvements. If you're one of the people who think hiking is only something for the summer months, think again. With warmer weather and a pandemic keeping people from gathering indoors, there's a new push to enjoy a winter hike at a park near you.
I like to come here every day and walk if it's nice and walk around and look at the wildlife.
Angela Rieger doesn't let the cold weather keep her away from a daily walk at the Mississippi Gateway Regional Park near the Coon Rapids Dam.
If you can come for 10 minutes, you'll feel better. Even when it's cold, just to get out for a little bit makes a difference, I think.
She can appreciate the peace and stillness of a park that locals say is a hidden gem.
It's kind of one of my favorite places. I've lived here for 8 years and I just love it. It always changes. Every time you come, there's something different that you see. Either the water's open or it's frozen over. It's just beautiful.
The pandemic might be pushing more people outside, and you can see it at a popular place like the park's overlook and bridge. But you wouldn't necessarily know it if you get out on a trail.
It's too pretty to ignore.
Plus, the naturalists at Three Rivers Park District say there could be more to see in the winter woods.
There's just more chances to see signs of animals because their signs are left behind in the snow, which you wouldn't find in the summer. And when it snows, like when there's a fresh snow and there's a frost, it's just beautiful out in the forest.
Interpretive naturalist Christy Bishop says parks have been busier this winter.
There's definitely been more people, and our parking lots are always packed, but the nice thing is there's so many different trails that once you get out, you don't see a lot of people. So it still feels like you're out by yourself, even though the park is definitely busier than normal.
More than 5,000 acres make up the Elm Creek Park Reserve, and it has a variety of trail distances.
So right now we're right behind the building at our Sumac Trail. So this trail is a quarter-mile loop that just takes you right around the woods and back to the front yard. So it's a nice short trail.
Some trails have stories, others explain about animal habitats. Just make sure you're not on a cross-country ski trail, and you're good to go, wherever you want to wander.
It's peaceful out here. It's beautiful as the seasons change. It's just a nice place to get some exercise and just enjoy some time outside.